Good morning, children. Now we are learning Once Upon a Time, a poem which was written by Gabriel Wakara. We learned that the poem focused on a father's concern over the cultural changes occurring in the African society. The poem Once Upon a Time shows the contrast between the old culture based on values such as friendliness, genuineness, love, kindness, etc., and the modern cultures based on the materialistic things and artificial relationships. Now, in this poem, the father addresses the son, telling him in a rather nostalgic manner. Now, we go to the fourth stanza. And I have learned too to laugh with only my teeth and shake hands without my heart. I also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance, to say glad to meet you without being glad, and to say it has been nice talking to you after being bored. So I have learned many things, son. I have learned to wear many faces, like dresses, home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face, with all their conforming smiles, like a fixed portrait smile. Now the poet Gabriel Wakara said that he has learned to wear many faces. What does it mean by wearing many faces? Wear many faces means behave according to the situation. Now the poet says that he learned to behave according to the situation. That is what he has learned from this society, modern society. He has learned to fake. He has learned to behave depending on the situation. So the father tells to his son that he has learned to behave depending on the situation. It means he behaves to suit to any situation. He has learned to behave according to the situation. Now, what kind of faces is he wearing? Like dresses at home. So he changes his faces as he changes his dresses. Home face. So the poet says that he has learned to wear many faces like dresses. Home face. What do you mean by home face? A home face means when he is at home, he behaves in a way with his own people. Office face. When he is in the office, when he goes to the office, he has to change his behavior. He has to change his behavior. Because there are many people around him, like his superiors and his boss, his colleagues, and he has to behave differently with each other. That is office face. So the modern man wears many faces means he behaves according to the situation. He also has learned to wear street face. And what do you mean by street face? And now he has learned to wear street face means when he is in the street, he has to fake his own behavior. He cannot speak truth because people don't like truth. People don't like genuinity. The present people, they don't like sincerity. The present people are insincere. So, our poet Gabriel Wakara says that he also has learned to wear many faces, means he learned to behave according to the situation. If he is at home, his behavior differs. Like in office, when he is in office, he behaves differently. When he is in the street, he cannot speak truth because people don't like truth. So he behaves as per the situation demands him. Now, host face. That means what? So, see, when you have guests in your house, you become a host. We have to change our behavior according to the situation. That is, because even if we don't like those people, that means our guests, we have to behave as if we really like them. So, though you may not like your guests, but you have to pretend as if you love them, as if you are taking care of them. In heart of hearts, you may not like them. So, the modern man pretension. There is no genuinity in his words or feelings. So, cocktail face. What is this? Cocktail party. It is a formal social occasion, usually in the early evening when people drink cocktails or other alcoholic drinks. They sit together and they drink. A cocktail is a mixture of different alcoholic drinks. The people come and drink. Then they listen to the host or the person who has invited them. In a cocktail party, you always keep a smiling. He always have a smiling face. Now, when the people come to the party, they all behave in the same way. They always have the same smiley face, but they are not real. The poet has to learn to behave as the situation demands. Though he is not happy with the situation, he keeps a smile there. He may not like them, but he has to be polite with them. Like a fixed portrait smile. Portrait means what? A portrait is a painting, drawing, or a photograph, especially of the head and shoulders. What do you mean by a portrait smile? The smile in a picture, the smile in a picture doesn't change. People in cocktail parties do not change their faces, their smiley faces. They keep smiling faces even though they are not real. So, just without any emotion. So, the modern man is compared to a portrait, the portrait which has no life. Though this man has a mind with his dead mind, without any emotions, just keeping a smile on his face, he sits and spends time in a cocktail party. He can't reveal the truth within him, because modern man deals with insincerity. They are hypocrites. They do something and they say something and they behave differently. There is no genuineness in modern man. He may be either at home or in the office or in the street. A real man within the man doesn't come out. Now, next stanza. And I have learned too to laugh with only my teeth and shake hands without my heart. I have also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance. To say glad to meet you without being glad, and to say it has been nice talking to you after being bored. So the poet Gabriel Okara tells his son that he has learned to become insincere. Now, our poet says that he has lost his sincerity. Now he has become insincere. He has to behave in an artificial way. Now, the poet has also learned to shake hands without his heart. He has also learned to say goodbye when he wanted to say good riddance. Goodbye means here, actually, he wanted to say good riddance. What do you mean by good riddance? Good riddance means a rude way of saying you are glad if someone has left. If anyone goes out, you feel happy. Good riddance means a rude way of saying you are glad if someone has left. Why are you happy if someone leaves? Because the person who has been stayed up to now has troubled you, has irritated you with something, with his talk. You are relieved now because that person has left you now. So you say, good riddance. What we understood is we never say truth. We never say come out. The inner feeling is different from the outer feelings. The man pretends as if he is glad to be with him. But when he says, good riddance means a rude way of saying you are glad someone has left. Now, glad to meet you without being glad. Glad means happy. And to say it has been nice talking to you after being bored means what? He has learned to say, glad to meet you. Glad means happy. So father has learned to say goodbye even when not glad. He has also learned to say, it has been nice to talking to you after actually getting bored. That is why the poet says that he has learned to fake things. What is it that the poet has learned? The poet learned to fake things. The poet learned hypocrisy. Gabriel Okara learned hypocrisy from the modern society. He has learned artificial ways of behavior. There is no sincerity. He became an insincere man. He has learned artificial ways of behavior. He behaves according to situation. Unlearn means what? Now next poem, stanza. But believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be. When I was like you, I want to unlearn all these muting things. Most of all, I want to relearn how to laugh, for my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. Unlearn means deliberately forget something that you behave. Learned, especially something bad. Now he wants to get rid of all those bad things. Who? Gabriel Wakara. But believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be when I was like you. Now the poet addresses to his son, who is a small baby. Unlearn means deliberately forget something that you have learned, especially something bad or bored. Now he wanted to forget all the things. He wanted to get rid of all these things, hypocrisy, insincerity. Muting things means what? Muting things means things that are changing all the time. Muting things means things that are changing all the time. The poet has learned to mute, silence his real feelings. He wants to change his fake behavior. Now the poet wants to become a genuine as he was before. Now Gabriel Wakara tells his son that he wanted to change his behavior. He wants to become a genuine person as he was before. Now he says, Most of all, I want to relearn how to laugh. Now, our poet wants to relearn how to laugh because whenever he stands in front of a mirror, in the place of his teeth, there appears a snake's fangs. So the modern man is compared to a snake. His teeth are compared to the snake's bare fangs. So the modern man is as dangerous as a snake. When he looks at himself in the mirror, he sees only the snake's bare fangs. There is no genuine happiness. It means there is no genuine happiness. There is no warmth in his love. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all artificial. So the modern man is leading an artificial life, insincere in his words and dealings. He never comes out the reality, the real genuineness never comes out. He acts as the situation demands. The modern man is hypocrite. He tells something and does something else differently. And there is no sincerity either in his laugh or in his shaking hands. There are no expressions in his eyes. His eyes are compared as ice block, cold ice. No expressions, no sincerity, no love or kindness in his eyes, modern man's eyes. He never speaks truth. The other person also doesn't want truth. He says, feel at home, come again. But if you go third time, he shuts the door. Just for formality, he says, come again. In reality, they shuts the door. So the modern man gives shake hand with one hand and his left hand searches the pocket. All these things. Now he got bored. Gabriel Wakhara, he wanted to say goodbye to his present behavior. He wanted to be what he used to be. When I was like you, my child, he tells his son that he got bored with present situation. He wanted to unlearn all these muting things. Now he wanted to relearn again how to laugh genuinely, sincerely. He wanted to express his emotions through his eyes, through his words and deeds. He says, the modern man is compared to a snake. No, he doesn't want to become like that. Now he wants to put full stop to his artificial life. The poet has learned to mute or silence his real feelings. Now, in our stanza, last one, stanza, he says that, so show me, son, how to laugh. Show me how I used to laugh and smile once upon a time when I was like you. Here the poet asks his son to show him how to laugh. Now, the poet Gabriel Okara expresses his desire to laugh wholeheartedly again. Wholeheartedness. He wanted to be like a child now. He wanted to get back his natural behavior. He wanted to get back his original behavior. He wanted to be a sincere man. He doesn't want to be a hypocritic now. Now, in the final stanza of the poem, Once Upon a Time, shows the desire of the speaker. The speaker is the father. The father or the speaker or the Gabriel are all the same. The speaker wants to become a clear person. He wants to get his genuine laughter back. Now, it is his wish. Now the poet wants, or the father wants, to become a clean person. He wants to get his genuine laughter back. Okay.